This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. This is Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Life. And this is a story I've been wanting to tell for a long time. I know more than 2 years when I heard a presentation about Isaiah 117 house. And now Janay Morgan is here with us to, I'm saying your name right?
Yes,
okay,
that's correct.
beautiful name, Janay.
Thank you.
I thought you might say, no, it's Janie.
Janay is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Good. Well, we have really just met in person, just a couple of times. But this is, it's really changing the way foster care begins.
Yes, ma'am.
And just to start off, Isaiah 117 says, defend the cause of the fatherless.
Yes. Yeah. So we exist to change the way foster care begins. Prior to Isaiah 117 House launching in Tennessee in 2017.
Not that long ago.
Not that long ago, when children entered foster care and were removed from their home of origin, they sat right down here, downtown Waco, in an office cubicle setting to wait for a relative placement or a foster placement to gain custody of them. That can take hours, but sometimes overnight. Overnight stays were happening with children sleeping on cots in the floor of office cubicles. And so, yes, we exist to change the way foster care begins by having a home for the children to go to when a removal happens instead of going to an office.
Now, this is a beautiful place.
It is. It's so
Really.
beautiful.
And
Yes.
it's not a secretive place, is it?
The address is a secret.
Okay, all right, so
but
it
the
is.
physical home was built for the community, by the community.
Right.
And so we have had contractors from all over McLennan County reach out to partner with us to make this home a reality. Yeah.
Well,
beautiful.
it is the kind of thing a lot of people don't think about in their day-to-day lives. They, just doing their thing. But when a child is in a crisis situation where they have to be removed from the home that the only one they know, they're frightened.
Absolutely.
Many times they've got nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right. And that happens every day. Every day for children that are completely removed from all that they know. They could be split from siblings, definitely split from the teacher that they were looking forward to seeing the next day, leaving behind pets and all of their physical belongings. And so we know when that decision has to be made, it's a dire
It's pretty
situation.
drastic.
Yeah. And so that's not taken lightly. And so we do support and walk alongside our caseworkers here locally, too, that have to make that really a decision that no human should ever be put in a situation to have to make.
But you would hope there was no need for
Right.
any of this.
Exactly.
Ever.
Absolutely. We wish we didn't exist.
Exactly.
We wish that family units were never split apart. But as long as there's sin in this world, we know that there's a need for us. So.
Well, so you are defending the cause of the fatherless, but this is not intended to be a long-term situation at all, right?
Yeah.
What is the average length of stay?
Yeah, great question. And so with our mission being to reduce trauma for children at removal, we do have a stay window of that initial removal time up to about 72 hours.
Okay, so it's pretty quick.
So it is a pretty quick turnaround, yes. But in those moments, whether it's 4 hours or 3 days, we have a team of caregiver volunteers that truly get to treat those guests as kings and queens. They get to come into our home and remember, keep in mind, they're coming from a situation in which they had no say in. The decisions were made for them up until the point where they walk into our home. And we get to turn it into a yes day. Would you like mac and cheese, or to play outside, or to blow bubbles, and really give them power and authority over their choices in those moments? So whether they're with us for a brief time, even if that's up to those 3 days, they leave with their heads held high and so empowered for whatever is to come, for sure.
Well, now you here in Waco, McLennan County, you have a Facebook page.
Yes, we do.
That is public. And so I read a particularly touching story about an older teen really, who was taken in to stay at the house, and he helped decorate for Christmas. Do you remember the one I'm talking about?
I do. I know that story well. And I could say so many stories just like that.
Yeah.
Which I will speak to that. We do any child that enters foster care. And so you're still a child at 17.
Oh,
We
yeah.
all need mamas and daddies at 17 to help direct us along our journey. But our youngest guest has been 2 days old.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness.
In fact, we had a week here in Waco where we saw 5 newborns straight from the hospital. So talk about just a
Oh, my.
crazy week of cuddles. But those teenagers that get to have say in their day, to decorate for Christmas.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
this young man said he hadn't decorated for Christmas in years.
Oh, we made so
Aw.
many first gingerbread houses this season
Yeah.
with teenage girls and boys that came in and had never had the opportunity to sit at a dining room table and put together a gingerbread house. And our caregiver volunteers, opened up their hearts and their schedules to have space to do that, which is really neat.
So let's talk about how does someone, I mean, I presume you need volunteers. How does that happen?
Yeah, so our home is open 24 hours a day,
Yeah, I
7 days a
I
week.
figure so, yeah.
Because when a crisis happens in a home, it's not the perfect 9 to 5 window, right? And so with our home being open constantly, holidays, weekends, we are only successful because of caregiver volunteers, which are just community partners that have said, hey, we want to be the face and the hands to love on children in that hard moment. We do have a 3-step volunteer training process that they have to go through.
Sure.
General information, trauma-informed care, cultural competency, just a few key components of our culture at Isaiah 117 House and why we do what we do.
I can imagine there even might be instances where there's been a traumatic, maybe even a crime or something, that child is really coming from a trauma.
Yeah, that's right. That's to be removed from the person that is raising you will always be traumatic.
Sure.
It may not be the mom that you think a mom figure should look like or that I picture grandma to be, but that is all that those children know.
That's all they know.
That's all they know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But it gives them an opportunity to see the love, as you say, of Christ. I mean, this is a faith-based mission
yes.
for
absolutely.
children and for families. So let's talk about you. How did you get involved with this?
Okay, great. Well, my husband and I became licensed foster parents in 2017. And that just really opened our eyes to the world of foster care. The why behind that is honestly, we came into it. I had the opportunity to stay home with 3 biological children and thought, while I'm a stay-at-home mom, why don't we help other parents? We coined the phrase, get it together for a little bit.
Right. Because sometimes that's all it is.
That's all we wanted to do
Yeah.
is truly
Just
walk
kind of a stopgap.
alongside. Yes,
Yeah.
walk alongside the parents, give them the space that they needed to get it together while we helped keep their children safe, with the ultimate goal being reunification. And so
Sure.
that's the heart behind my family. And so we have had multiple children in and out of our home in the 7 years that we have been foster parents.
Do you know how many? Have an idea?
Oh, I can picture their faces all over the wall in my home. We have a picture of all of them. I think.
Oh,
we're
do you
at-
really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, I think we're on our 14th placement.
Oh, my goodness.
However, we've since adopted 2, and going back,
Have you?
Yes, to the heart of the mission behind us as individuals getting into foster care. It was, for reunification, and we've learned that the Lord doesn't always orchestrate it that way. And so we have 2 precious babies we've been able to adopt through foster care.
Yeah.
And so really, why did I get into Isaiah 117 House? I heard their mission statement and the 3 reasons they exist, which is to reduce trauma for children on removal day, to lighten the load of caseworkers who are very overworked and tired and underappreciated. And then thirdly was to really empower foster parents to foster, meaning if I get a placement of 2 siblings and don't have the car seat I need, or the school supplies they're going to need going into school the next day, who helps there? And so Isaiah 117 House does. And we heard about this 3-part mission, and I stepped in simply as a volunteer. to get the word out in McLennan County, to show there is a need, and to talk to whoever would listen about it. And so that's truly how my family became involved in Isaiah 117 House.
Well, so you spoke to the need for just physical things like supplies, like diapers. I mean,
Absolutely.
there's formula, all those kinds of things. You collect that from the community, or
do. Yes.
and I'm sure you just need money.
Absolutely, yeah. There's lots of ways to get involved. If you want a dollar amount on it, we say that it takes a good $300 to lavishly love one child that comes into our home. That is the Air Jordans that they want, or the pack and play that they need. That's deodorant, but that's also cologne, because we're going to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
That's undies and socks, but that's also remote control cars and Lego sets.
Yeah.
And so everything we do it in a lavish love way. Plus feeding them. They get to choose. We've had children come in and say, we see that billboard that has that domino on it, but we've never had that kind of pizza.
Really?
And we say, great,
Let's do
order
it.
that kind of pizza.
Now.
So a dollar amount, we are seeing
Oh.
that, about $300 in cash donations. But there are other ways to get involved with our ministry. We call our physical items that are donated bin buddies. And so we have members, civic organizations, individuals, and businesses that all claim a bin for a full calendar year. And anytime we need 5T pajamas, we're reaching out and saying, it's time to fill your bin. And that's really how we're getting those tangible needs met
That's
in the moment.
very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. When children come into care at 2 a.m., we can't run to Walmart nowadays.
No.
It's closed. And so we do have a full giving room stocked up of physical items that we can pass on to the children, but then also send with the new placement, the foster family or the kinship placement.
Right,
that
just to
needs it.
help them, make that transition.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
So how big is the Isaiah 117? How many bedrooms do you?
We are a very cozy home. So
Okay.
it's just a 2,800 square foot home.
Okay.
It's beautiful. Most of the children that enter our home say it's a castle.
Oh.
And mostly that's because there's snacks everywhere. Looking past even the cleanliness and beauty of the home, so many kids come in with food insecurities. And
they?
so just seeing a table full of food, they just immediately think we're rich, like a castle.
Yeah.
And that's pretty special, just to be able to say, but that's for you. Our community has completely stocked this home for you. So we have 2 bedrooms. We also have an office and a visitation space, a game room and a living room. So it's a good size home.
Yeah. I know. Again, referring to the story that I read, the young man watched some Christmas movies, and so you have a little entertainment.
We do. We have
Just
a
as-
gaming system for
Yeah.
them to play if that's what they need on that day. And then we were blessed, oh my goodness, with the perfect location. So we have over half an acre.
Oh, good.
And this country girl loves that because we have a swing set and a slide. We have a half-court basketball area out there for basketball games to be played. Really just a lot of space to roam. And being out in the fresh air and the sunshine, we know how valuable that
works
is.
wonders.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for a child that's gone through and really has questions what's tomorrow going to bring. At least for that moment, that in time, they feel loved and happy and yeah.
That's our goal.
Well, yeah. Well, we mentioned the Paulson family in Tennessee that less than 10 years ago did they establish the first Isaiah 117 house. But it's grown like crazy. So now in Texas, the one here in Waco was founded how many years ago? Not that long ago.
No, so we started spreading awareness of the need in McLennan County in 2021.
21,
Sorry
yeah,
about
right,
that.
just-
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, not long ago at all.
Right.
And then it took a while to get it going. Not that the community wasn't ready, but just processes and city ordinances.
Getting it
and
built.
Getting it built, construction. So we cut the ribbon and opened up our home to serve children on June 16th of 2024.
Yeah.
And we had our first guest before midnight that day.
Oh gosh. So the need is obviously
Yes.
there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But it's spread throughout Texas now, and I'm sure the Paulsons, when and when I mean, I picture them as a family just like yours,
Oh, they're
that wanted
precious.
to help, and but they're like, what, they're on the floor in some office cubicle. This isn't right, and that's how this idea started.
That is how it started. Our founder, co-founders, Corey and Rhonda Paulson, went to their very first foster parent class up in Carter County, Tennessee, rural Tennessee. And whoever was leading that training told them that a little girl had spent the night on the floor in the office, just like you said. And so truly the seed was planted in that moment. And Rhonda will tell you and laugh with you that she thought in that moment that there would be one single Isaiah 117 house in Carter County, Tennessee.
Right, that they were just starting it because there was a need there.
Yeah, exactly. And now it has just grown nationwide, and we giggle
Yeah.
about it. We are in 12 states.
Really?
Yes. Here in Texas, we have 7 different locations.
Amazing.
Yes. So our friends in Dallas County pioneered us. They opened first in June of 23. And I wish I had the exact number of children that they have served, but it's over 300.
I'm sure.
So they are located in Dallas County. Yeah. So it is growing.
And really kind of sprinkled all over the
Sprinkled
state.
all over.
Um,
Yes.
And again, it's one of those things you wish there were no need for such thing, but to know that there are children who are going to be served and, as you say, lavishly loved on
Yeah.
in this way is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I know it's got to be rewarding for you.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? Man, like you say, we wish there wasn't a need. I heard a pastor pray over our home one time, and it stuck with me. He said, Lord, one day we hope that people drive by this home and it's just an ancient museum, and people are saying, what was it used for?
What was that?
Why
Yeah.
were families broken apart and separated? And that's really stuck with me, because it's like, man, I wish I was out of a job tomorrow, because nobody needed me to show up to that home because brokenness wasn't occurring. But because it is, we're so glad we're there. And we know that the Lord is blessing this ministry tenfold, and it will be in every county around the state as needed so soon. I mean, we are getting in at the ground level, per se, and there will be so many other locations across Texas. Yeah.
Well, and as you say, it's not an institutional type facility at all.
It's a home.
Because it's a home, and that's something that for some of these kids to even experience a new construction and like you say, snacks scattered around for them to enjoy.
Toys mounted
Toys.
everywhere, and being in that lavishly love phrase that we say, if a child sees something in our home that they want, they get to have it. And so that right there is just so much security. Do you want that fuzzy blanket that you've been wrapped up in? Please take it.
Please take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that's really special that we have enough support here in McLennan County financially to be able to just hand out the items that the children are really desiring.
And I would imagine you have a website as well where
Yes.
folks can even choose to maybe give on a monthly basis or however they feel led to do that.
Yep. So Isaiah117house.com is our organization-wide website. You can narrow it down to the Texas locations to see the map of wherever we are. So if you're listening and not here, get involved in the one that's in your county for sure. And there are different ways to give on that website. Yes, absolutely.
Well, it's really it's just such a wonderful thing that's been done. I know it was a lot of work, a lot of effort gone into it. You do have fundraisers. I believe you have an event on the 5th of February?
Yes. So we invited in just a guest speaker on that day. So February 5th, we have Tori Hope Peterson. She actually entered foster care at 4 years old. She spent most of her childhood in foster care, and now she's an adult with her own family and is a current foster parent. And so there is so much wisdom on both sides to learn from her. So we invited her over to Waco for her book launch, and we're going to get to host her at Fabled on February 5th at 7 p.m. So
Very good.
Yeah, that's just an event to get our community together. Somewhat Isaiah 117 house related, but mostly an awareness of foster care. and the
Yeah.
need for foster parents, which is really a whole another ballgame and
That's
conversation
right.
we could have. As an organization, we do have what we call our sock buddies. Those are our monthly donors that we love to say walk the journey with us. And so our sock buddies get a pair of socks if you become a monthly donor. And we have an event just for them coming up on April 29th
Okay.
of 25. And that is for them to invite other people in that want to learn more about our ministry, but really just to thank them for walking this journey with us. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure churches, are a big support for you as well. In fact, that's where we first
Yes.
met in person is at my church. It
yes,
was sort of
absolutely.
a day they do once a year where local agencies come in. And I saw Isaiah 170 and went, I've been wanting to have them on this podcast.
That's so sweet.
So, yeah,
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I'm glad we were able to make this happen. Well, I like to end these with a little questionnaire. It's similar to the one that the late, great James Lipton would use on Inside the Actors Studio. I know you're probably too young to even remember that, but just simple questions. And the first is, what is your favorite word?
Ooh, resilience. That's the first word that came to mind.
I'm sure you see that every day.
Yeah. Ugh, it almost brings me to tears thinking about that word. And nobody's ever asked me that question. Resilience.
Okay, so what's your least favorite word?
Can't.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. I
Yeah,
hear that a
do
lot.
you? Do
I hear that a
you?
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or don't want to.
Yeah, don't want to.
Don't
Can't be
want
done.
to.
Can't be done. Yeah.
Of course you can.
What turns you on emotionally, spiritually, or creatively?
That's also a great question. Scripture, great uplifting podcasts, a walk.
Yeah.
Those are the types of things that fill my cup. And then just hanging out with people that love me, cheer me on, love the Lord, love our ministry.
And so, conversely, what turns you off spiritually or emotionally or creatively?
Busyness, does that count?
Pretty much for me, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. What is your favorite sound?
The waves at an ocean. Ocean waves. Do you get that often?
Yeah, I've heard, water, any kind of water
Oh,
usually,
yeah.
from rain
Sitting on the beach.
to a brook or, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is about water that is so soothing.
It is.
What about your least favorite sound?
That post-nap cry.
I was going to say, you got little ones.
I do have 6
I'm
children
out of
in my
that.
home.
I'm out of that realm. Yeah, it's
That-
like, come and get me. I'm done with this bed.
I'm so excited to spend time with them, of course, but there's something
know.
triggering about that sound.
That is funny. Okay, what other, I didn't even ask you what you do professionally. Obviously, you are with Isaiah 117 House. I don't know what your training
Yes.
was, or, what was that, by the way?
Sure. Yeah, my husband and I, we both moved to Waco as educators.
Okay.
And so I was a kindergarten teacher at a local elementary here, and my husband was a teacher and coach. So,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
All right. So, what other profession would you like to have tried? Would you, always dreamed of wanting to do?
You know what? Maybe I didn't have very high aspirations.
No, you
I
may
really
be doing just what you wanted to do. Yeah.
and I tell people, I think my dream looking back would have just been to be a stay-at-home mom, but maybe even in a third world country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like bring
Yeah.
the whole pack and then just invite others in constantly. So
Yeah.
in a way, I think I am living my dream
Yeah,
in
yeah.
America.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Then what job do you know you would not want to do? No, thanks.
So many. There's a lot of you out there that I love what you do, and I'm glad I don't have
You
to
don't
do
have to
it.
do it, yeah.
Something with driving.
Really?
I want off the road as much as possible.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna
anybody that
say-
works in transport and delivery, that's a really popular job right now, and I don't think I could be like a delivery driver.
Yeah, man, with Amazon and all that, there.
My brain gets a little distracted.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave that to other people.
That's good. That's a new one. I've not heard that before. One last question then.
Okay.
When you arrive at the pearly gates, what do you want to hear the Lord say?
Welcome. Well done, good and faithful servant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you-
I don't want to leave any stones unturned here on earth, right? Like,
Yeah.
just constantly listening to make sure I'm hearing what he's asking of me. And so to know that I've done that well when I enter in those pearly gates, yeah, that would be rewarding. But just to be there is rewarding enough. He doesn't have to speak to me.
That's absolutely right. Well, you're doing things well. I have to say, you are, from what I can tell, through Isaiah 117 House. And again, how can folks get involved? And
Follow us on social media, visit our website, and then if you go to our Linktree website, you can find everything: ways to give, how to get involved with our current events that are going on. You can find my contact information, and really, we are a people-y organization. So reach out and let's visit and see where the Lord's leading you to plug in.
Well,
really. Yeah.
I'd love to have you come back closer to your April event.
Sure.
Let's talk about that for
Absolutely.
an event, for sure. Thank you again, Janay.
Yes, thank
It's been a
you.
delight, and thank you for being with us, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.